Oh boy.
The year's 2095. We've unearthed some internet archives. The talk show.
That was the DJ Screwed chopped and screwed version of our theme song. That was so slowed down on scissor.
Have we not looked at like the Hey Girl title card where it's our faces on teen girls, but we truly look like a early 70s Swedish prog rock duo.
Without a doubt.
It's like just bass and theremin.
Mm-hmm. That's somehow their hair. It's definitely implants, but their beards are graying. But they have the hair of teenage girls.
Anyway, hey girl.
Oh, hey girl. What are you having, buddy?
I'm having a little concoction called this much booze and this much whatever else.
Classic.
Tequila, and then a little bit of hot shotting going up here. Orange juice and LaCroix is usually.
I had somebody drop off that somebody I used to do some work with, drop off a jar of maple bourbon sour. So this is half of it. This is half. Yeah. Okay. So having that's quite delicious to start a nice Friday evening with my pal.
Yeah, man. How's your week been? How's your life? First, can I ask Dolemite? I have never seen the movie. I'll admit that.
Okay. No
relation to the mountain range, correct?
None. No, it was something that Rudy Ray Moore called himself. It was an alter ego, bigger than life, shit talking guy. Do you mean the movie, the Dolemite movies, or the Eddie Murphy?
I mean, I only knew Dolemite from Beastie Boys referencing Dolemite to later find out it's a Rudy Ray Moore thing. And then after those two things, found out it's a mountain range.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I'm like, the mountain range, I'm pretty sure existed before both these other things. I didn't know.
Yeah, I mean, like I remember we watched those movies when I was in college, and we would get stoned and watch them. And they're not only blaxploitation, but he's a fat guy who's doing kung fu and like not landing kicks and punches, but people are still like falling. Very funny. But there's also parts that I remember being like, there's no way this is happening. I'm just way too high. Like there's literally a part where he's in bed with the white wife of like the sheriff, who's fucking him on the side, and the sheriff comes in and catches him. And he says her name, like Dolly or whatever her name is. And she looks and she's caught and she goes, he raped me. And Dolemite goes, bitch, are you for real? And he jumps out the window and he's naked and he's rolling down the hill naked. And the movie stops, pauses. And you hear a voiceover. You hear Rudy Ray Moore go, y'all didn't think that was going to happen, did you? Well, check out this good shit. And rewinds it. He flies back into the window and then jumps out again and rolls down the hill. And I remember, when you have those moments when you're stoned and you're like, I think I'm losing my mind. There's no way that happened. But you're laughing so hard, you're barfing tears out of your eyes. So it's like, it was one of those things you just were like, there's nothing funnier than this. I don't know if it's intentional or not. But the Eddie Murphy movie is amazing. Also, our buddy Dave Lyons is in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he did the location managing, and it was such a loose production. They were like, can we put some 70s clothes on you? And you just play an engineer in one scene. And so he's like, sure. And so like Dolemite is recording a comedy album, and through the glass, you just see a guy with a headphone on, and he's like, and that's Dave. Like no line or nothing, but he didn't have to join the SAG union, but isn't amazing.
My friend, one of the first times my friends all took mushrooms, I was not there for this, but they went to the movies to see. Was there a movie called The Avengers, like in the 90s?
That's the only movie I can think of that I've ever walked out of. It's so bad.
I didn't see, but it's terrible. But is there a scene where there's for some reason around a conference table?
Teddy bears.
And they're wearing Okay.
Yes.
They told me about this later, that they're all just tripping balls at the movies. And that scene came on, and they were each individually so afraid that they were the only ones that were seeing it that they couldn't tell each other. And so they all just sat there like, ah, ah. And then the scene was over. And then I guess one buddy just goes, were they a bunch of bears? And they're like, oh, thank God. Thank God you saw the bears too. Holy shit. I thought I was losing my mind. Like when you get confirmation that what you're seeing is real, like that.
Yeah. No, I saw it completely straight, like not on nothing, and was like, what the fuck? These supervillains of the world are like heads of industry. They meet dressed as giant in fucking like fuzzies cosplay so they won't recognize each other. Like, who would agree to that? Like, come on.
We both, Braunger, both me and you take pure delight and have been in each other's company when going to see a movie at the theater and where the audience in the theater collectively agrees that they're just watching a turd and turns on the movie. That's one of the greatest senses of community I've felt, as when strangers in a movie theater have all just at one point just agreed, like, this movie sucks, right? We can yell at it. Okay, let's do that. Like, I think we saw, was it the Black Dahlia? Was that me and you?
Yes.
And we're all sitting there. It was at Los Feliz 3, and they have a very tiny, like a truly shoebox theater.
Right.
And everybody, like, you could hear like the little bickering between couples start of like, this movie is not good. and then a guy way in the front, big fella, just everybody's kind of like, it's not good. This is a bad movie. And you just hear,
it was so loud.
The most apnea snoring sleep from a dude. He may have died in the theater that day.
We don't know.
Like, everybody heard that guy snore and we're like, oh yeah, this movie sucks. Let's have a good time. Like, let's just
that was the match that landed in the puddle of gasoline. Yeah. Like, everybody was kind of like, I don't know. Like, I read that book.
I don't want to be rude, but this movie's bad.
No, it's like I've read a lot by that author who wrote the book and stuff, and I like those actors. And it was that thing where it had all the set pieces and the costuming and everything, but we're just like, wait, this is bad. And then that guy snoring was just like, oh yeah, we should be asleep through this. This is bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah, that was like, I think it was that one. And then we went and saw, what was the one where the ice was coming to get everybody?
Yes. The Day After Tomorrow.
Was that what it was called?
Yeah, it was The Day After Tomorrow, because that one where he like outruns like ice. Like this building is freezing and he shuts these doors and it stops sub-zero temperature.
Yeah, that was the one we were watching. I remember watching that one, and it was at again where it was early LA days.
Yeah.
And we'd go, you get lit up and then go to the movies.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody, there's a movie theater for anybody ever visits LA. If there's ever if there's a Day After Tomorrow where we all get to live like we used to,
right?
And you take a trip to LA, the Vista Theater is one of the most delightful places to see a movie. It's a single screen, old timey theater, and the owner, I believe, he like, wasn't it his idea? Like, once he realized that all the ticket sales for a movie go to the studios. They don't go to the movie theater.
No.
Movie theaters make money off the concessions and maybe a little bit of the ticket. So he just took every other row out so you could just like stretch out and hang out.
Yeah, it's like 10 feet between the rows.
Oh, you could just, plenty of room. And we went and saw that movie, and somebody yelled some ridiculous shit at that one. And the whole place was just clowned on that movie. And it was like Bruin View back like at the Vic.
At the Vic. Oh my God. Yeah. The amount of times I've seen movies, I think some of the best movie experiences of my life were at the Vista, but definitely the Bruin View too, because back when we lived in Chicago, you could not only drink, you could smoke cigarettes. Like you're in Bangkok or something.
Well, you were at a bar that had I saw 16 candles, and boy, did the white people know long duck dongs lines.
Sure. Of course they did.
Just drunken.
Yeah, like that square that keeps popping up. Like, this black cube keeps popping up in front of us that we're just like, well, oh, there's more shit. Anyway, we saw Grease there with a bunch of people, and every like dancer, like, you know, musical scene, everyone's just screaming like stop dancing. Why are you? None of this makes sense. And like when Sandy goes out in the yard to sing "Hopelessly Devoted to You," just singing Olivia Newton-John in her yard in the night. Everyone in the theater is like, "Shut the fuck up!" Like their neighbors. We're trying to sleep. We got work in the morning. Shut up.
We would always go to the Marcus Cinemas in Addison because like that was like the place that, you know, you buy one ticket, the guy go open the fire door and everybody comes in, kind of thing. Like at like the giant Cineplex. But I remember seeing the movie 54. Remember that one? Like about Studio 54 in the set.
Oh yeah,
like,
of course. Yes.
And there was some moment where it was like a Friday night, date night, suburban date night. So a bunch of dudes going, all right, babe, you pick the movie. I'll go. I'll behave. I'm on my best behavior. And everybody's like, it's Friday night movie, but everybody's like on a date or out with their, you know, we'll watch this nice movie. And it's quiet. There's some part where they're about to kiss and some corny line. I forget who says it to who, like, this is how it was always supposed to be. You just hear some dude just go, this sucks. And the whole place is just like, it does. We all, like, even the ladies were like, we all agree this sucks, correct? Let's get our money's worth and yell at the rest of this movie. And that's Community. That's the best feeling in Community, is like, we all hate this thing. Let's do it.
And I've never, you know, it's funny. I've never had a time where I've been at one of those movies and been like, I like this. Hey, it's weird. It's
no,
you know.
I saw The Shape of Water at that same theater because I go back for the holidays and I'm back over Christmas. So it's me and my sister and my buddy, and we're all drunk, and it's like an art Oscar winner movie. So nobody in Addison is going to see this shit. It's empty.
That's the one about the fish man, right?
Yeah, one of the Fast and Furious are playing on the other wing of the Cineplex. That's where everybody.
You hear the boom, boom, boom through the wall.
Yeah. So it's us and we're so happy because we got the theater to ourselves. But then like 5 kind of late teen age gals come in, and like to see a movie, to see a romance, you know. And we're there trying to keep it together. And I want to get to the thing where like, oh, I'm going to be mad because they're going to be on their phone. And I hate it when people are on their phone in the theater. But we're all just trying to hold it together through this movie. And then one of the girls sitting like a couple rows just goes, so she had sex with that fish? And I was like, that's what we've been asking the whole time. And it's just us and this group of girls, like, we're all best friends now. We're best friends. Yeah. This movie is dumb as shit, even though it went on to win the Best Picture Oscar.
Yeah.
But like, so she's had sex with the fish? I'm like, thank you for asking this.
That's everybody. That's everybody. She goes back to work, and that actress, I forget her name, she's great, black actress who is like her coworker, another janitor, a cleaning person. She's like, so you, and she's like, and they giggle.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't you barf? You're like, you do. You.
That was a bad movie. That was a bad movie. Yeah.
Yeah, you would barf.
That movie was bad. It was bad. Anyway, that's my I don't know how I got off on that going to see movies tangent, but
yeah. Well, you know, speaking of collective entertainment, did you enjoy the Thunderbirds today? Booming over our houses.
We were talking about this earlier. I love a display of aerial power.
I tweeted this, but it's true. They boomed past my house, and I went outside, and as they faded into the distance, I farted incredibly loud on my back deck. So this is and then silence, then like the timing. It was like the set, you know, like where you don't even feel one coming, and you like stretch your back, and then oh, like it just came out of your chest or your leg or something. That the sonic vibrations, I think, shook it out of my body.
Yeah, absolutely. It gets in, rattles your system around. I don't. I don't know what it is about the idea of talking about farts being funny isn't funny, but they are themselves.
Hmm.
Like I don't know what your situation is with your missus, if it's appreciated around the household or not.
Sure.
It's not appreciated around the household here.
It's not. It's like if it's a gross one, it's like, come on. But
What I mean,
but it's mostly it's mostly just a fodder for laughter. You know.
okay, that's how I feel it. But then because I have to because I'm oppressed in that way.
Of course.
And then when she's like not around, I'm like, oh, finally. And it's just all built up. Like last night, I think I went to bed earlier. So I was by myself in the bed. And I'm like, well, filled those sails up.
Sure.
Knocked the comforter off the bed. And just
the bagpipes inflated and emptied.
Rolled around in my own little brown cloud. I don't care.
Full Irish police officer's funeral bagpipe.
Oh yeah. Somebody sat on all the woodwinds. Oh my God, the band bus crashed into the whoopee cushion factory. But yeah, it's not appreciated. Yet meanwhile, as I was going to say, we're going to play a game. Am I even wearing anything?
Oh, I don't want to.
I am. No, look at these. Look at these shorts.
Those are cool.
Bought for me by the woman so she could, quote, see my dick better.
Hey, that's love, man. That should.
Is it? Or is it just? Do we need to take a question from my favorite pirate, Savory Robert?
I call him Salty Bob, but I think he's gone. I think he's gone from Larry Fishburne to Lawrence Fishburne.
Umami Rob.
Umami. What's the Japanese equivalent of Rob? If I were a girl, what do you think the perfect dick size would be? Huge. I don't know. Something to.
I mean, if you're so savory, you'd have the answer to this question already, Robert.
Yeah, come on, Robert. Yeah.
I don't like seeing big ones if I'm looking at the pornoogles. No,
not too enormous, because I'm not too enormous. So what the hell? It's all the fantasy for me.
Well, it's like what everybody wants to see in like comic books, that you want to see representation.
Right. Exactly.
We got Jake on that one. We got Jake laughing on that one.
Jake laughing there.
I want to feel seen when I watch pornography and see just a plain old untanned fella.
Yep. Just a normal, average, I might say, dick. My wife. I will, speaking of significant others and penises. My wife has described my penis as pedestrian. And it always gets a laugh out of me.
That's only because you used it to hit the button for the crosswalk. That's the only reason.
Yeah, that's why we can't go to Santa Monica anymore.
Hands off. It's we don't want to get caught.
Look how you make me feel.
I get I'll fall asleep. You're on vacation, you day drunk, you fall asleep naked. I get dick pics sent to me from her of my own junk.
I know.
From an angle that I never wanted to see my body from.
Yeah.
From the feet up. Ew. You ever see your own body nude from the feet up?
No, can't say I have.
It's disgusting.
It's not good.
It's disgusting. It's like somebody dropped wet laundry on a barbershop floor.
I will take pictures of my wife's sleeping face and send it to her when she's like, it's probably the equivalent where she's like, delete this. Fuck off.
I want to see pornography where you could tell the guy is just physically too tired to come. That's what
he's had a long night. He's had a heavy, where's the like non-vomit based like heavy meal porn?
Yeah. I just want to hear like, why don't you get on top for a while? I just want to hear that.
Yeah.
What if I just Oh, let me see your body. You get on top. Oh, thank God.
If we had like a supervillain scenario, like Dr. Evil or whatever, like taking the world hostage, if he could just control Pornhub and all porn was just that, like normal, long time couple sex, where it's just like, I don't know if it's going to happen.
I want to see. Yeah.
It could bilk the world of billions of dollars.
I want to see
get our athletic stallions of porn back.
I want to see some guy get like the true, like, you ever get the weird wobbly legs or like the shaky elbows, like the Olympia Bridge kind of thing?
Yeah.
Like the wind resonance, like, oh, we didn't calculate for this.
Yeah, we've hit rough waters.
This was an engineering loophole we didn't even fathom before we proceeded with the endeavor. Yeah, we're covering a lot of bases here. We can barely even. Hey, was that that an ooh girl? Did we have an ooh girl yet? In with our. Did you have an ooh girl this week?
I had an ooh girl last week that I forgot to share. Was the wife and I driving on an errand. Well, mostly staying indoors, but we had to. We dropped off. Our friend Matt Dwyer had a baby, so we dropped off.
He had a baby.
We had a baby, so we dropped off some food to his house. Out in the driveway, waved at them and drove away. Just threw it in the driveway. Just a bunch of chicken.
There's a bucket of chum for your family.
There you go. Eat, you savages. And we're driving away, and we're both like, I'm so hungry. And we saw McDonald's, and so we got McDonald's.
That's the same way you feed zoo animals, by the way.
Yeah, just with the bucket.
It's a bucket of food. Now back off. They get aggressive when they're hungry.
Yeah. So I got a Big Mac. She got a quarter pounder. We both got shakes. It was
girl. Nice. Ooh girl. I mean ooh girl.
And Kara said she was like this is your ooh girl. This is your ooh right here. So we both said after we crumpled our shit and thrown it into nearby trash, like it felt like cheating on each other and neither one cared. That's how good.
What did you had a Big Mac?
I had a Big Mac and we got a big mess of fries to put up on the dashboard of the car. We ate in the car like monsters.
Oh yeah, that shit doesn't taste nice when you're in your own home.
No. You don't sit there at a dining room table.
No, you're like, I'm better than this.
Food. It's food.
Yeah, it's about juxtaposition.
Yeah.
It's like beating off in the garage. It's secret. It's fun.
It just feels better. That smell of gasoline.
Someone's not supposed to be doing this.
Looking at my dad's old copies of We magazine or Cherry.
Who's been putting their dicks in my metric sockets again? Why did I pluralize dicks?
Speaking about non-representational penises, I remember we had a neighbor down the street who, like, they just left their house. I didn't grow up in the nicest neighborhood in a lot of ways. And me and a couple neighborhood kids went in the basement. And we found roughly the Library of Congress's amount of porn, stacks and piles of magazines. And we divvied it up. One guy, his dad went back with his two sons and they cleaned the house out and drove it all back to his house. But I remember looking in one, and that's the first time I saw Long Dong Silver with his Jerry curl and his enormous penis. I remember seeing that. I was probably like 6 years old. I remember seeing it just being like, my God. What is that? A penis can get that enormous? To you,
Long Dong Silver's a real guy?
Yeah. He's real. He was. I don't know if he's alive anymore, but I don't think that was his real name.
I feel like this is completely unfounded medically, but I feel like you don't live long with a big dick. like tall people. You got more body than your system's supposed to handle.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. I'd imagine.
Like you're blessing.
When they had Milton Berle on Howard Stern, they were asking him about his famously huge penis. And he kept going, that's enough of the toilet, humor and the questions. And Howard was like, okay, fine. Well, let's take some calls. And they'd reviewed every caller to make sure they were only asking him about his penis. And so he's like wanting to talk about the old Hollywood days. And a caller actually said, "Hey, Uncle Milty, do you ever pass out from the loss of blood from your head if you get an erection?"
Yeah.
I thought that was a great question.
Yeah, dude.
You got that much of a bag down there that needs inflating from the blood.
That's what I'm saying. Your life expectancy is lower because you don't have the average system with which your components are used to. Did we talk about this last week? How I passed out because I locked my knees while I was taking a leak.
We might have talked. I think we talked about. Well, at least you and I had once because I did it in church once. We were all supposed to be standing, and it was during my first communion. And I told my dad I had to sit down. He was like, "No, you got to stay standing." I'm like, "Dad, I'm going to fall down."
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I locked my knees and just stayed there and was like, "Oh,
okay." Yeah, I don't know what night. If we talked about it, I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know what night it happened. I just got real stoned, but like real stoned, and then I was going pee. And did I tell you about this? I was telling you about this, or no?
You mentioned it. You were just like, "Yeah, I almost passed out and locked."
Not on the show.
Not on the show.
Okay, great.
Thank you. Thank you, Jake.
Thank you.
Going for the title card because Jake doesn't want to show his face. Not on the show. Anyway, I stood up and I was peeing so much. Like, I know it's because you're stoned, but also I think like I forget to go pee when I'm high, but then you're thirsty when you're high.
Yes.
I felt like I was taking a leak for 45 minutes and I was getting dizzy and I was leaning against the cabinets above my toilet.
When will it end?
And I was like, it's got to be close to being done. But I was getting dizzy and just passed out, like had my knees locked and fell. And I hit, as I said this, I got one of those, I got a bidet, but one of those aftermarket.
Yeah, you lock them on.
Yeah. Sure. You know, when you see like a ridiculous gamer girl with like a phone case that has bunny ears on it.
Sure.
Like you actually made your phone a more laborious process. It's like that. It comes out over the toilet. Yeah. I fell and I somehow turned the bidet on. So I woke up to just being like a baby being baptized, just being showered with toilet water, high out of my mind. And then if that wasn't bad enough, somehow through this process, my iron gym pull-up bar fell off. And that woke Rachel up. I was sleeping in the snoratorium. I was sleeping in the side room because I was having a late night by myself.
Sure.
But she's just waking up like, what's going on? And I'm just dripping wet, fell over. I'm like, it's fine. I think something fell. That's all. I didn't want to admit that I passed out taking a leak. Anyway,
we definitely have to write a version of Final Destination, but of just you have visions of something horribly embarrassing happening to you when you're fucked up, and you can't avoid it. It's going to happen.
It's not
like,
Final
Destination. I had a dream. I woke up getting showered by toilet water, and I was severely high.
It's not Final Destination. Yeah. It's just called connecting flights, and it's where you stop off. Right. On your way to the final destination.
And you're traveling bidet attachment. Yeah.
Thank God for that bidet. Maybe I wouldn't have woken up if it wasn't getting hit in the face with cold toilet water.
It saved you like a rescue dog lapping away at your face.
Well, even funnier is that it's the website's called hellotushy.com because it's a Tushy brand bidet. But Rachel tried to tell the neighbors about it by like, yeah, they're cheap. They're like $50. It's at tushy.com, which is just an aggressive anal sex website.
I just see the inventors of Hello Tushy as like a mother-daughter team. It's just the nicest family company. You go to Hello Tushy, it's just like
I saw that. Well, and of course I was aware of that before.
Sure.
I just was looking at the text because we're like becoming new friends with the neighbors through quarantine. We always kind of knew each other, but it's like, hey, we're all stuck in this building. Let's be pals. And it was early on, and I saw that one go out, and I was just like, oh, girl.
Hey, speaking of ooh girl, let's bring our guest on. Everybody, welcome our pal, Beth Stelling. Hey.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, girl.
Hey.
Hey,
Wow,
girl.
am I sweaty?
Right on.
You went ahead and got 2 flat tires on your bicycle. Not even a euphemism for anything.
God, I've calmed down. I still might have to do some push-ups and sit-ups after we hang up just to like really get angry about it. It's my fault. It's all my fault. I went out with not enough air, slowly leaked out. It doesn't matter. It was a pressed to tire issue.
I see this is exactly my department, but I understand how that we would lose some listeners going Presta versus Schrader.
I don't know.
It's been solved. I came home. Tires are hard as a rock now.
Good.
I had a pump at home. I was just far away from home.
Okay. Are you doing okay?
We're off to a rousing start.
Listen, don't worry. But we're all natural performers. It's gonna be magic. Who cares? Talk about your tires. Deflate. Whatever.
Run them soft. Run them hard. Live your life.
I freaking walked him back. Oh God.
I was telling Braunger about how we did visitors locker room the other night, and I really could have used a heads up that was a 2-hour long show.
I know, and then I'm the one who left first. I was like, guys, I'm gonna go live my life.
Yeah, well, round about 45 minutes, I'm like, may as well start smoking weed and getting into these drinks, and they're like, and we're gonna go in for another hour. I'm like, well, I am of no use to you right now. I
mean, I did probably play field hockey for you for about 30 minutes in the corner of my house.
I was going to say, not to overlap material, but Beth introduced me to field hockey. I've never seen it before. It looks like it was stolen from the Native Americans maybe 23 months ago. That's how that equipment looked to me.
Sure.
It truly looked this was actually originated as a weapon. It's like, no, it's a weapon now. It's a small.
You have to go down.
It's a candy cane decoration.
I know Beth played and was a demon on the field.
Technically a beast, but yes.
Yes.
Semantics. But when I was in college, me and a couple friends used to, on Saturdays, we'd wake up at like 7:30 and get ruinously high and then play hockey. And there wouldn't be a lot of people watching, and we would get really into it.
That's awesome. Wait, hold on. What school? When you were in high school or college?
College. What did I say? High school? College. I was in college.
No. Where did you go to school again?
I went to school in Purchase, New York, like a tiny liberal arts college.
Went to SUNY? Purchase?
Down the street from SUNY. I went to Manhattanville, which is right up the street. Yeah, and we used to really get into it because it was just like a stoner friend named Gus had the idea and was like, we should get high and start watching field hockey every Saturday. And I'm like, I love it. It got me up, and we would it was really fun just to kind of just to get into this sport that there weren't a lot of people there. And it's funny, I think as many girls were so glad we were there as there were girls who were like, get the fuck off the field. So much. I remember
we were used to crowds of 7 to 10.
Yeah. I mean, this girl juked around this girl. We're like, yeah, that's right, Sally, don't take no shit. And she's like, stop. And then kept running. So I was like, oh no, I'm sorry.
Really?
Yeah.
That would have been cool if people were interested.
We loved it. It wasn't ironic. It was fun.
We did, I was telling the old visitors locker room at hour 1:45. I was telling them that we went to state, my team, for the first time, and who even knows? I forget what it was, 15 years. Who knows? It had been a long time. Maybe, who cares? I wish I remember the exact number, 30 years. And they bussed people from our school to the game. And I've had the worst game of my life.
Oh.
It was just so sad because nobody ever came and watched us. And by the way, this team was a freaking good team. So we got our butts handed to us, but I sucked.
Can not in a sports way, but can I bring up how I think it was when I was playing Zany Chicago downtown, one of the last times I've ever played that club years ago. And Beth, you may have been featuring, the collective, we understand. Not to the staff or management, but for
no, not to the staff or management, but
it's just doing 8 shows a night for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think they've changed it because they realize how many people won't play there anymore.
Do you think they realize?
Yeah, I don't think you have to, I think people do Wednesday to Saturday now. But when you were featuring for me, and I think that was one of my first times coming back as a headliner, I'm like, you know what? I've earned it. Let's tell all the family and friends to come out.
Oh. Yeah.
And they came out, and a fight broke out in the back.
Oh, yeah.
While I was on stage between off-duty cops being drunk.
Oh.
A guy that was well within his right to call one of the off-duty cops' girlfriends a bitch. And they were all going to fight, and then they called was that, you were there that time maybe?
Yeah, I definitely, because I remember it was very cool of you to ask me to open because you had left before I really got going. So I was really excited to open for you. And you were great and kind, and it was a good weekend. But the truth is, for me being someone who doesn't I'm not even a heavy drinker, what has happened to my memories? Is it a sad, sick result of bad things that have happened and I've repressed them? I mean, what's happening? I feel like my memory is bad and I wasn't hammered.
I think your timeline has grown. We've all gotten older and have had more memories, and we're trying to fit them in the same size file cabinet.
Yeah.
And also we don't on Hey Girl, we Kyle and I, we hey girl each other because that's what we say when we've been on the road for a long time and haven't seen each other. So now we're hey girling friends like you.
Yeah.
But we don't talk about current events. We're living in a horrifically traumatic time. So if you've lost a couple memories, I mean, it's understandable.
Braunger can yell like that because he lives in a house and doesn't have to worry about neighbors.
Meanwhile, I'm over here
you son of a...
I will pay for ballet lessons.
I remember that show because there was a fight and then actual cops came in, and I was not doing well anyway. Then the fight happened. They were cops were ushering, the off-duty cops called their on-duty friends to put the guy who was in the right in handcuffs because but then I was just on stage while all this was happening, and friends I've known since high school were in the front row, and I'm like, well, this is what it looks like when your dreams are coming true.
This is what my job is.
Thanks for getting babysitters and paying obscene amounts for parking to come see your old buddy on a Friday night.
I know. And then comps were always limited. God, that place. But just to check in really quick, because I feel like when I see myself in the thing, I'm moving slower. Can you hear me fine and everything's good?
You haven't slowed down once.
Okay, so everything's fine on your end with sound and everything?
Yeah. Oh,
great. Yeah. I just wanted to make sure because I switched to, anyway.
We're on this new frontier, Beth. Don't worry about it.
But whatever. We don't need to trash talk zanies, but it sucks.
We're not. We're talking about the physicality of it, that you're inside a Tylenol capsule.
You think that would be a great setting, but yeah, there was just they're the ones who make you realize that as a comic, as you get better and gain an audience, you just get robbed less.
Yeah.
When you know how much that some of our other people are making who are famous from a weekend, you're just yeah, I did it for truly a tip.
Yes. I paid to do it.
Yeah, I'm
my chunk. Can we go into the bitch please section of the Hey Girl show right now?
Bitch please.
Please.
As I was telling Matt earlier today, I handed over my password to my management company for Twitter because I was just getting in so many stupid it was just causing me more frustration than any minuscule amount of like serotonin-based joy of seeing a funny joke work. Instead of the joke being like, that's funny, it's like, well, did you know that actually logically your bit's not like, what happened to this place?
It's awful. I mean, do you remember when people like when At Midnight was around and people would be like, you stole this from Tina 147. It's like, do you think that when given a prompt of 2 items that we're not going to have overlap? There's only so many probabilities that can result from new bands mixed
right.
whatever a prompt was.
I absolutely went through and found your Walmart coworkers slightly popular observation about I got taken down by saying that Sex and the City was the prequel to the Golden Girls, which is the easiest observation to make. It's just easy. Yeah,
it's
and
fun.
it's easy. But somebody had a this was early on, and I made the mistake, and they're like, you didn't realize how strong comedy Twitter was, would you? I'm like, no, I didn't, because I actually do it for a living in the real world.
To your face.
I'm sorry, you ignoring your office job has brought you some. But
it's like what's happening now a little too. We all have been given the same prompt. It will be very interesting to see the hackery that will result in this pandemic if we're allowed to perform again.
As I wrote Braunger, a thing I didn't tweet today, but I'm like, man, these are halcyon days if you do comedy for fucking idiots.
Yeah.
If you do stand up for total dipshits, you are having a field day right now. You don't know. You've run out of things to wipe with $100 bills.
It's the only art form, and I use that term incredibly loosely, that everyone's an expert on. There's nothing else that anyone does that you're like, I think I know about bicycle maintenance more than you, fucko, or whatever.
Yeah, it is like, I think Twitter, wait, hold on. I think I got to close my door because I have ADD and there's another Zoom going on nearby.
Here we go.
I know. I can't hear.
Am I right?
If you want to talk, Braunger, can I ask you a question? This is arrogant to say. Can I ask you a question?
Hurry before she comes back.
Hurry.
Oh, hey.
What's she doing with her hair? Really? Hey, hi, Beth. Hey.
It's a gentle sweat.
It's sporty.
What if that was like a hairdressing move where they're like, gentle, just shaking you? Just get a gentle sweat going.
Chase you around with a blow dryer around the salon.
Do you have ADD or like OCD or shit? That's I can't. A whole garbage just went by here.
For sure. I'm over here like, shut the fuck up. There's times where I literally have to wake up and go, pretend you live in New York. Because I can hear, like, this morning I was making up that I was changing the words of the song from the windows to the wall to like, from the kitchen to the living room, back to the kitchen. Stop moving around.
Pretending I live in New York would mean hiring somebody to clean the blood off the wall after I
and making a sign that says, don't shit on our stoop.
I've definitely felt like the fucking 1% where I'm sitting on my porch with my laptop and I live on at the end of a cul-de-sac, and this girl just walking up and down my street. And in my head, I'm like, and she's got her, earbuds in and she's talking to a friend. She's so fucking loud and she's young. So she's got it all figured out like we all did. But she's just like, she out loud is just like, I mean, you can't go to the park, the beach. I think there's just too many people here. And I want to stand up and go, yeah, get the fuck off my street. Like, but I was like,
this is a cul-de-sac.
Like I had to check myself and be, I was like, what? She can walk around,
It is a dream of mine to live on a cul-de-sac, honestly.
I mean, who's supposed to be there and who's not supposed to be.
Oh, it's funny that we all have we know all our neighbors and they've been here forever. So they're super chill, but this one night, there's a dude sitting. We had a neighbor named Rick who like fixes cars and stuff, and he has a couple kids, and that guy always has a cigarette dangling, always. And there's a guy in front of Hillary who lives across the street, sitting on the fire hydrant in front of Hillary's house in a leather jacket, smoking a cigarette with a motorcycle leaned up against her fence. We're like, what the fuck? And our street is skinny, it's tiny. My wife and I are just like, what the fuck? But we're like, he's so flagrant. He's not going to rob anybody. He probably knows Rick.
Yeah.
It was like, but we both said the same thing. We like, we're like, Jinx, you owe me a Coke. We were like, who's that bad boy? Who's that real bad? Because that, like slicked hair and everything. He looked like a ghost. And we pulled into our.
Coming to steal your daughter.
I don't have one yet. And like the texts were going off, and people are like, hey, anyone know who that is? Because he's just out there smoking. Like he's the scene from Rebel Without a Cause. And then one of our neighbors starts being like, I think he's casing the joint and just texting everybody. And we're like, okay, and then
sneak up on a motorcycle.
And then
that's what a real estate agent looks like in Los Feliz.
Absolutely. Without a doubt. So eventually he got on his bike and he rode away. And the next day, this same neighbor was like, hey, anyone figure out who that was? And then Rick's wife, Crystal, was like, yeah, that's our friend. They were like, anyone figure who that guy that she said was like, who was casing all the houses? And, there's like, I was like, it was that thing where you look at the text chain and you go, oh, I'm so glad I didn't.
I mean, I believe, I believe in the sense of community and like, hey, we all live in a close vicinity. Let's try to look out for each other.
Not a doubt.
We moved into this place and we got limited trash cans that like several units and buildings use. And people were putting their boxes in there without breaking them down.
You gotta break down the boxes.
Exactly. You put 3 boxes in, not broken down. That's the whole recycling bin. So I tore off a little piece, and this is a little passive aggressive, but I just wrote, hey,
here it goes.
I'm just like, hey, if we all can we all break our boxes down so we can all get what we need to in this thing? Not mean or anything, but like, hey, come on. Maybe it's slipping somebody's mind.
Yeah.
That up there.
Yeah.
Next day, filled with unbroken down boxes. But I'm like, your label's still on them. I know who's doing this because your name is on the box.
Exactly.
Kimberly.
That's the same thing that happened over here.
Oh, you dumb bitch. Kimberly at 2257. Won't give it all.
Bleep it out.
I just peeled the label off and
I was so careful not to say my neighbor's name. You gave your neighbor's address and name.
I gave first name and just the numbers. But I peeled the shipping label off and stuck it to my sign. Like you, Kimberly, you dumb fucking cunt. And so then they would still.
Wait, did you add that, Kyle, for real?
I didn't dumb cunt, but I stuck the label. I stuck the label to my sign. Like, it's you. This is you. Is anybody else blown away at the level of functioning stupidity that exists? And I hate to sound like, boy, Grandpa's a little burnt out on stuff, but like, did you not think I would know it was you because your name and address were on the box?
I think it's a sad, like, long history of entitlement and not having responsibility. Like, if you look, I've been breaking down boxes because I've had jobs. Here's a simple tip. Put the box on the ground, get in the box, step on the corners, and you've already done it.
You're done.
That's exactly how you break down a box. Don't worry about your little fingies or get scissors and put the box on the ground, step in the box, go bam, 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 bam.
Your knife, it's very satisfying. Yeah,
or a knife if you want, but it's a simple thing to do is to step on it to flatten it. And I think it's people who didn't have a job.
Yeah.
And who just like don't care about other people. They're the people who just are like here for themselves.
And we all 3 of us live in Los Angeles, and it's a lot of people just self-centered, whether consciously or unconsciously, thinking about themselves and not the people around them. My point of the sign was to be a little bit like, hey, we're all kind of existing together. maybe let's behave like that. And so then I told my landlord, I'm like, are these garbage cans just for our building? He's like, yep, because it was another building that was using them. He called. I'm like, we need more recycle bins. He called, got them delivered. They were immediately shuffled down to the other building, and then like gold spray paint with their address painted on it. Like, these are ours.
They took them?
Yeah, they're fucking morons.
See, we had to get a new one, but I got some really great guys around me. Some really good, some really awesome neighbor men.
I got some good neighbor men too, and neighbor women.
Yeah, they really are. They give me advice. Sometimes they're nice. They're very helpful. One of them lent me a broom. One of them got the new recycling bin. He takes it out. I got great people around me.
That's good. That's good.
Sean right now is talking really loud on the back porch right now. I can hear the person on the other side of the speakerphone.
Oh, we can't hear him.
Okay, good.
Speakerphone in a public place is it should be
it's a crime.
Hillary, my neighbor Hillary. She's elderly. She loans us power tools. She has two grown kids that have families, and we were talking about when it's an age to have kids and stuff. And she's like, whenever. She's like, when I was 21 in New York, my father threw the white pages down and said, "Pick a man, pick a husband." And she was 21.
Oh my God!
Not even the yellow pages.
Yeah,
I think it's
didn't care if he had a job.
Oh, so Beth, how are you holding up? Gotta ask. How are you doing?
I'm fine, I think. I'm doing everything. I mean, like, of course there are ups and downs. Very Groundhog Day. Some days, like, there'll be times where you go, okay, I had that call about the thing. I was supposed to get the work in. And then all of a sudden you're like, how has it been 1 week?
Yeah.
Because it's due today. And I'm like, it was a week? So as much as like, I'm not bringing this up to like, to promote it, but I'm saying my special was supposed to come out in May. It got pushed to August. And you would normally be like, oh, what's that about? And bummer. And you're just like, who cares?
Exactly.
Like, what's 3 months? It's kind of nothing. I mean, they had good reason. And I was just sort of like, what is anything? What is time? So I'm fine. I'm thankful. Like, as a writer, I can still work. And so I know that I'm in a place of like, obviously I worked hard to get here, but my point being like, I'm thankful that I can do my job from home. Mm-hmm. It's just like, I don't think I've been home this much. Like I'm noticing what it looks like to live in a place where you actually use the things. I'm like, oh, the rug's really changing over time. I wasn't stepping on it because I was on the road constantly.
I got to clean this bathroom.
Yeah.
You got to clean these things.
Looks like we're halfway to our goal for Dayton YWCA. I accidentally tweeted YMCA. I'm very sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
YMCA theme over the IG stories, but that's our assignment, guys. We have to write a YWCA song.
Yes.
To get that going. So we have a Patreon member, Kyle, that we're going to call with the help of our pal Beth. Meg M is in the wings. Jake, correct?
That is correct. Jake. That's correct. Coming in right now. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
Hi, Meg.
Hey, girl.
Hi, Meg. You're draped.
He's going to add audio soon.
Yeah.
He's just out there yelling. I love him.
Meg, you're shrouded in darkness.
I can't hear you, Meg, and you look like you've got a giant pair of sunglasses.
It's coming soon.
Aha!
Yeah, hey. I knew it.
Hello. Is it too dark? Hello.
I mean, if you can turn on a light, great.
That sounds like it.
It's pretty dark.
I don't know how you're trying to live.
Yeah, if you don't want to,
you got to sense.
Are you in the witness protection program? What's wrong?
No, I'm just in Toronto, and the sun just went down. That's why.
Oh, yeah, you're on the other side of the world.
Yes.
Join us.
Or 3 hours away.
Tell me what the sun is like. Tell me.
It's beautiful.
Meg, should we be jealous of Canadians right now? Are things handled? Well, I know what the answer is, but how much better are things handled in Canada right now than America?
Yeah, better way to put it.
Okay, I think there's a misconception about how Canada works because we're not a whole like mass of things being held or things going over well. Like on the East Coast, where I'm from originally, where there's a bunch of like random sandbars and whatever islands and shit, like they get to go out and do things because they isolated. Whereas I'm in Toronto and we're very much stuck indoors. However, there's a lot of good like stimulus plans and things like that. And the other thing that's weird about it is because Canadians are so like nice, we have this like rat on each other program. I've not participated. But there's literally an app that the city of Toronto has where if you see like a bunch of people hanging out in the park, you could be like, they don't look like they live together.
Like, wow.
That's awesome.
We have that.
We have next door.
We have that in America. It's called next door, and it only applies if it's a group of people that aren't white.
Yeah.
So we still have it.
Yeah.
Toronto was the last place I did stand up, and I'm upset now that I didn't go out and enjoy Toronto, although it was kind of like everything was already kind of encroaching, so there was no time to go out anyway.
What was that, like February?
That was almost exactly a month, 2 months ago. It was like, I think my last show was a March
7th. It was a Saturday.
Oh, right. It was at like the Velvet Underground or something.
Yeah.
Wait, the 14th?
The 14th was a Saturday night.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn another light on. Is that all right?
Yeah, probably a good idea.
I'd love to see you.
However you want to live. You know what? I'm not going to judge anybody's the way they want to be perceived on a Zoom.
I prefer to be in the dark, but
personalities are going to be a thing now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you realize there's going to be Zoom celebrities?
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Choreographed Zoom personas.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Around already.
I think the backgrounds are the real celebrity.
I'm going to say...
I do like the painting.
Yeah. Meg, you want big earrings?
Oh,
I
yeah.
like the hair too. Very cool.
The beads.
What do they have on them?
They're beaded flames. They say Skoden, which is like in like indigenous like shorthand. It means like let's go then, let's fight.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Beads needs Friday Beach Friends of Canada.
So listen, Meg, since you're on the team, since you are a patron, do you have an ooh girl and or do you have a bitch, please?
Like things that I'm excited about or things that I'm mad about?
You just named them both. So ooh girl is this thing happened that was fucking fantastic. And bitch, please is just a way like, should you bitch? Yes, you should bitch. You should bitch about a thing. So
okay, so
one or two or neither.
okay, so I don't want to sound like a ding dong idiot, ding dong.
Please.
But I will.
Ding dongs.
Risk it all.
Did you watch the show?
I did, yeah. I also tour a lot for my job, and I'm now to be inside of my apartment for the very first time in a very long time. And now I have like weird foes on my apartment building floor. Have you ever had that before? Where there's
really
you don't even know, and they have some sort of vendetta. Like there's a lady who lives across the hall from me, and she'll just stand outside my door and say one word, just be like chicken, because she knows I'm cooking chicken. It's like, what are you doing? And it's just me in here. So I'm like,
oh, that's so much scarier than saying murder. Like if you're actually cooking a chicken and you hear the word chicken, just want some? No.
Let you know that somebody else knows what you're doing.
Exactly. And is like mad about it a bit. Like
exercise.
Is this like an intense person? Is it like a guy or a gal?
It's a lady, and it's one of those women that like I really have a lot of empathy for, because I'm worried I'm going to become her one day. Just like as you know what I mean? Like just gets angry about really small things. Like I'm at the point of isolation right now where I literally like had a chat with a pigeon on my balcony and was upset when it left. Like I'm probably about 10 years away from being like standing out in the hallway, smelling people's doors and getting passive aggressive about it. Like, I
was talking with Jake, the producer, about this before, but have you ever tried to view your own parents as like if you were of the same age as them in their early 20s?
Wait.
Viewing them as your parents, viewing them as people you would know in a social scene.
Oh, yes.
Hold on. At their current age or when?
No, like if you were 23 at the same time your parents were 23.
Oh.
Would you have been friends with them? Would you have?
But that's tough to say because you didn't know how they were then.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Trying to understand your parents before they had kids, like Meg, like how you're saying, oh, I might be that person in 10 years. It's like you kind of, obviously you get older, you gain a little bit more wisdom, but also like more curiosity about, oh, what kind of person will I be? I never cared about that before, but now It's the curiosity of like, oh, am I going to turn out like my parents? And I try to wonder if I was the same type of person drinking at a bar with them in our 20s or teens or something.
I'm just stuck on being 23 the same time. My dad was 23 and him going sincerely, which he did at the time, I think I want to be a priest. And me going, fuck? Like that would be our whole interaction. And I would just get away from this weirdo that was at the bar. Like a nice guy, but just like.
Yeah.
Wait, is your dad a priest now?
He went to seminary school and left because he liked girls too much, I guess.
I was gonna say, if your dad's a priest, he's bad at being a priest.
He used to him and his priest buddies used to dump water on couples making out behind the seminary, like a big bucket of ice water. There was a bench that they'd make out, and it's just like, why? And he's like, because we weren't getting any. I'm like, what is this, like Animal House, but you're priests?
That does low key sound like fun though.
It kind of does, but I'm just like, why are you? It makes no sense. Like you were.
Pour the cold water on yourself, you horny weird dudes who gave up sex. Turn it inward, you fucking creeps.
He's the only guy. People were talking about what was that movie that was so big? The Da Vinci Code, and that there's that guy who had like a thing wrapped around his leg that cut into.
Don't ruin Da Vinci Code for me.
Okay. Priests would like. The guy like whips himself to like, punish himself. And my dad was like, oh yeah, there are guys at the seminary that would have like a thing around their leg that would cut like spikes into their legs to like punish themselves physically to suffer for Christ. And it was like a party we were all at. And my dad was like kind of defending those guys. Like, well, they saw it as being logical. I'm like, Dad, that's fucking gross. You're mutilating yourself. And he's like, look, hold on. I'm like, no, hold on.
Yeah.
Spikes into their legs?
It's like a belt with like spikes that dig into the side of your thigh and you like tighten it. Like,
self-flatulating, they call it.
Yeah.
Like one of those dog collars that has the little things in them.
Yeah, but it's not hot.
Yeah, it's for Jesus. That actually reminds me, like in the Da Vinci Codes, it's so weird. The guy who does that, who has that like stabby bicycle. Sorry, Kyle.
My ears are covered. Go on. I'm not looking.
Are you really gonna read it?
He's got the like blood thing that draws blood from his leg all the time, and he's now
talking about.
And he's like in charge of being the sneaky guy for the Catholic Church.
That's who I mean.
But he's like the most obvious man of all. He's leaving a blood trail, and he's pure white all over everything of his body. This is your guy. This is your secret assassin. Like.
Priests and
I forgot about that guy.
Are the same thing. All right.
Yeah, that's exactly who I mean. That's what people were talking. The movie had just come out, and we were all talking about it at a party. My dad was
I'm gonna watch it tonight. I'm gonna watch Da Vinci Code for the first time tonight.
Are you really? With Tom Hanks?
Was there a different one?
Yeah, I guess that's the only one.
I'm watching the Da Vinci Code with Burl Ives. You guys seen that cut?
Da Vinci Code was
you ever saw Da Vinci Code with Don Rickles? You ever saw that one?
I saw the Rickles one.
The Steven Seagal one, he just sits in a chair and he's really fat and he's like, I got it all figured out. And he won't. That's it. He just keeps saying that. And the camera's on him the whole time. And you're like, Steven, please.
Meg, are you in a high-rise building?
Yeah, somewhat. It's not a condo. It's like this 1960s Art Deco old ass building in the downtown area.
Elevator building?
Yeah.
What floor are you on the elevator building?
Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anyone. Don't tell them. I'm on the 7th floor, but you can't know anything else.
And you're getting out people's addresses, apparently.
You're across from the chicken lady?
Spit out
Okay.
it already. It's all right.
We'll send you some candy.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Oh, for folks who haven't donated yet, if you're going to donate, please donate to the Dayton YWCA. They need the money. People need to go and work out. I think Beth actually wants money to go to the Dayton YWCA because she wants to just keep working out there for free. Am I wrong?
That is the YWCA, or YMCA, but YWCA is for women who are leaving abusive relationships, for eliminating racism, empowering women, providing them and their kids a place to stay while they're transitioning or leaving someone who is abusing them.
So no gym though?
I wonder if there's a gym and food and all that.
Lap pool? All right. Okay. It sounds cool, I guess.
Yeah, but it's in my hometown, Dayton, Ohio.
When I was a kid, I used to go to both with my parents, the YWCA and the YMCA, because I didn't know what the letter difference was.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was antiquated, but it's not. Certainly.
We went to YMCA. I think my dad worked at Moore's Nautilus, but we definitely went to the YMCA for like swimming, and I think my mom worked out there too.
You don't need these in Canada, right, Meg? Because everybody's just nice to each other.
Not true at all. That's the facade. That's the facade. We have the best PR in the world. We have a handsome ass prime minister who comes out and is like, everything's fine. But as soon as you like step across the border, you're like, oh, the racism is just different here. Yeah. The words are different, but the things are the same. Oh, the problems. It's cold.
They don't even have decent lighting up there. What are you doing, Trudeau? Come on.
I know. I need a lamp. Where's my stimulus lamp? You sexy.
There's your socialist electricity hard at work up there in Canada. Can't even see Meg.
I just get one candle and I get to use it for 2 hours a day. You're lucky. Having
your indigenous artwork hanging on the wall.
So did you say so you're still you can't travel for work right now?
No.
Hey Beth.
Yeah.
Is she Kara?
Hi, Kara.
That's Meg. That's our new friend Meg too.
Hi, Meg. Hello. I was moving around so much because I have such bad ADD. All I can hear is him talking to me, and I love him, but he's really starting to make me angry.
No one can hear him, Beth. No one.
Okay. I feel bad the last 10 minutes or so, wherever it started. I've been very distracted.
That's what I wanted to ask. Is anybody else's little quirks and twitches coming out 1,000-fold in all this? Because myself, I just before coming to do this, I took out a pocket knife to make sure I got all of the dryer lint out of the trap.
Wow.
Because taking it out isn't enough. I get it's not like the sexual pleasure, but like that's whatever ASMR people get of like removing dryer lint from the trap.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have that. But then I go in and I got a pocket knife to get it out from around where the trap goes in. And
I like making sure it's all very gathered as well.
Also, yesterday I paired up a sock that's been missing for about 3 weeks.
Sweet victory.
Yeah.
And if that's what people get out of like weird sex, I understand it.
Yeah. I think it's simple as that. It's just small satisfactions.
Yep.
You know,
we're
all just looking for small satisfactions. You know, I have had, I will say, a couple distanced meetups with friends. We sit on opposite sides of a lawn in lawn chairs, and we did that with
this bitch bragging about having a lawn.
Wasn't my lawn.
That's bigger than 6 feet.
It was in the valley.
You're renters right now. Okay, know your crowd.
Wasn't my yard, man. But and I should point out a couple things. One, there was a dude who's on there who's like, I know it's lame to say this on chat, but Beth's smile is just the best. It was like I saw him and I was like, oh, that's sweet.
That's nice. Thank
This guy
you.
just seems like sensitive enough to be like, look, hey, fellas, I know it's lame, but
I think I'm like, I was selling this to Kyle. I'm just like, I've never been someone who has to wear a ton of makeup, but these things, I'm just like, not gonna happen. I can't. It's like it's the one thing that sucks about being a female comic when you're on the road is you get there and it's not just like show up to the show, do your set. It's like, what are you wearing and put on makeup. I know guys can be like, it doesn't matter, but I don't know. There's something to it that does matter.
The heckling, Meg, you mentioned touring. Are you a performer?
I am. You're gonna hate it.
Why?
You're a clown.
I'm a stand-up.
You're a stand-up.
Oh,
But then you understand all these things.
One of us. Google gobble, Google gobble.
Yes.
But like how heckling at a live show is like, I didn't like that joke, or I'm drunk, and you can handle it. And you do something like this where you're doing stand-up, and then there's little chat clouds on the sides, and it's just like, is your head too big or are your arms too small? And then you just lay awake thinking like, oh, both? I don't know. Like that's with you so much more.
It's because
That's some drunk guy, because you can facilitate a drunkard, but a cutting, like somebody just watching you for a while and going like, how about this? And you're like, well, my life's over for the next 72 hours.
I only saw one annoyingly negative comment, but it was just obviously someone who's never seen the show is like, is this supposed to be comedy? I'm bored. I'm like,
That's the easiest jerk off thing to throw at comedy.
You know what, bro? I'm not mad. Sorry. I'm not going to dangle my peas in front of your face. You should go jack off and read a comic book, please. Yeah. But I did. I'll admit, I did have that twinge at first, like, ooh, maybe I should juggle or something. I'm sorry. Let's have that.
Invested in tapestries for a reason.
We're at 95%. Oh,
Yay!
Almost there. Meg, where did you have to? Are you? I know Canadian performers kind of are like obligated to either work a certain chain of clubs in Canada.
Yucks.
Tour. Yeah, I guess yucks. I guess we could just say yucks.
Yeah, I'm not with. I don't know. I'm not going to talk shit. I'm not with them.
I'm not
I'm not going to talk shit. I'm not with them. I mostly just work like independent contracts. So Comedy Bar does a comedy bar on the road. Comedy Bar is they do an on the road thing. I just did a bunch of shows with the Indigenous Performing Arts Alliance. So it was me and Kevin Shonda is another Indigenous comedian and a musician, and we just toured like a lot of northern and remote communities, and that was really fun. We're supposed to do another one this April and May, which obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just gotta book all your own stuff because the club system is very flawed and very creepy, let's just say, and
It's misogynistic. I know.
Yeah,
I know Canadian comics.
Yeah, it's creepy and it's gross and it feels really weird. So you just call the places and say, "Pay us this much and we'll come."
Yeah,
do it. Or we play like a lot of rock music venues too. If you go out east, where I'm from, because I have more connections.
But we were talking about that earlier, like what you're saying, which is like it's your home club. I'll happily shit talk and name zanies, but it's like it's your home club. You're kind of beholden to them. It's where you started or whatever it is. Like, you know, you take what you can get when you're first starting. Yeah. And then, you know, the minute I didn't have to do that club, I was like, truly eat my ass. I mean, I can't believe I did it as long as I did. I'm so mad. It would be like, I remember him saying something like, you don't get these bonuses. I was like, well, I sold out 4 out of the 5 shows I did or something. And he was like, it wasn't the right ones. Like, cause it wasn't this Saturday at 12:45 a.m. show. And it's just like, I just made you so much money.
Yeah.
So I had a club owner one time tell me, when you come back tomorrow, don't wear red. And I said, why? And he said, because if you wear red pants, it makes the audience think of your period.
Yeah.
I'm from now.
Was anyone else looking for something a lot more subtle from that guy? Like, despite that it was going to be a terrible story, I was just like, well, he won't say that. Yep. Aim low.
Christ. You're shattering our preconceived notions of Canada right now, Meg.
Hey, speaking of shattering, we're at 120%.
Yay! That's amazing.
We did it. Hey, Meg, what is your last name? Let's give you some promo here.
McKay.
Meg Mckay. Okay.
Yeah.
Meg Mckay, Toronto, stand up.
You got out there anything?
Pardon?
You want to plug anything?
Yeah.
You got a clip that you love? We should go look up.
An album called Probably a Witch on Howl and Roar Records. And if you guys can watch Baroness Fun Sketch Show on IFC, I wrote on it this year. So
Cool. Nice. That's amazing.
Hell yeah.
We got to let you go, Meg.
Bye.
Thank you so much for calling in. You were awesome.
Thank you. You're great. Thank you.
Don't
We
get
will
rejected by those pigeons leaving. Another pigeon's going to come along soon enough.
well, it stole my heart, like Tess.
It's quite a literal version of "There's more fish in the sea," but there's more pigeons in the sky.
I was
not very high.
Before she left, I was going to do like one more thing. Chicken.
Wait.
You're making chicken.
That is in a high-rise building. Does someone just announce that they know what you're doing in your apartment from the hallway?
So that's so weird. Like I would rip open the door and be like, "Yeah, Marjorie, I'm making chicken." What?
It's like a drunk call out when you're like noisy car. Like you just I gotta say what I see.
I know. A guy leaves and she's like, "Love."
Or not.
Making it.
Well, it's like when you're in the car with your mom, when your mom's visiting and she just reads every sign because there's no conversation going on.
Jesus Christ. Hey, do you guys have a good Mother's Day?
Catholic church. That's a Catholic church. Yeah, Mom. I saw it. I saw the sign.
My mom loves to do the thing where we'll be driving and she'll be like, "Is this the part of town where blah, blah, blah?" And I'll be like, "Yes." And she'll be like, "So what's that building?" I'm like, "I don't know." And then she'll be like, "Do you think they blank there?" And I'm like, refer to the first answer of, "I don't know what that is."
Every time they visit here, it's 4 to 6 days of my mom talking about what the temperature is back home and asking what street we're on. All it is. Every time. Oh, Vermont Avenue. Weird, because you used to live. It's not going to matter. Just let it go.
You'll forget it.
What street is this? Who gives a shit? I say third. I say third every time.
My mom
third. Avenue or street, whatever you want.
My mom blew my mind watching a movie, like, because my mom will just talk. Like, she'll talk throughout the previews and she'll be, she's like, it's fine. Like, it's fine for her. And a guy comes on screen, she goes, "Who is that?" And I'm like, I don't know what he's playing. He just showed up, Mom. Okay.
I like to go, this is time number one for me.
She asked me what she's seen this guy. What have I seen him in? I don't know, Mom. What have you seen? And it's like, all right, be quiet.
I love it.
Jiffy Lube commercial, Mom. Jiffy Lube commercial.
Don't know. Trust me. Well, we're like overtime. Beth, anything you want to share? You're on the spot.
2 new bike tubes.
Hey.
No, I filled them up and they should be good.
Okay.
Gosh, that was such a disaster earlier. I'm just so mad at myself, quite frankly.
I've been fixing bikes for everybody in my building. It keeps me. I've been semi-retired before this COVID shit happened, and now I'm just a guy with tools, but a total lack of knowledge. So stop by.
If I hop on and they go flat again or whatever, I'll call you. But I think this was just an issue of me totally draining it of air by using that bike pump wrong for the press step. And then I had to walk it home. It was a nightmare. Anyway, it wasn't that bad.
Thank you, Beth, for coming on the show. Thanks to all the donors, guys. We did it.
That's so amazing. Thanks to everybody who donated. I'm so proud of you.
So great.
And everyone who is being cared for at the YWCA, and Dayton will be thankful too.
And they all get free gym memberships because that's what they do.
Get to that lap pool.
Ladies working out, buddy. That's all it is. Jokes aside, thanks so much, guys. And thanks for doing the Patreon and keeping the show going. And thanks to Jake. No thanks to Kyle. But no. Kyle, anything to add?
I heard what you said right there.
Oh, I thought we were out.
It was mean. Oh, whatever. Go enjoy your cul-de-sac in your yard, you fucking.
I live in the middle of the dick.
Remember when didn't 1%ers mean like motorcycle gangs, and now it just means
I know. Fuck. It was so much cooler then.
I want that weird overlap that the billionaires become motorcycle gangs with protection.
Yeah.
It's always good if you can yawn directly into the camera, Beth. Let's be part of the show's
off to the side so it's clear you're trying to hide it. Perfect.
It's always good. It tells people it's okay to leave.
Jake,
anyway.
Jake, roll the closing thing.
Jake, for Christ's sake, Jake.